Yo, guys. All right, I'm going to start this thing while I finish making my tea. Let's get it going so we're not up all night. Let's go. I'm rigged up. Welcome. I'm so happy you're here. While you guys get in the room, I will get this thing going, and we'll start exactly where we left off the night before last. Sorry I couldn't do it last night. Make sure I got the right one. I had trouble with where it was last night, didn't I? There we go. Found it. All right.
February 29, 2024. Time is 5:09 p.m. We are at.
She didn't have.
Okay. So I just concluded one interview and they're starting another. Right. Welcome. Hi, guys.
Okay.
Time to get in the room.
Can we get her a box?
So yeah, there's some similarities in.
Okay.
Can we get her a box?
Audio for those of you who weren't here the other night or just to renew. This audio was provided by the Docket. I'm responding to that. We have some of his comments in here, although I'm mostly going to skip through because you can go to his page for those. So we're just doing a reaction on that. And I'm trying to get
exactly what I was just talking about.
Find where we picked up.
We are literally having a conversation right now about Maddie.
Okay, this is a detective with Jen Soto before her remains were found, but after Stephan was arrested and charged with all the possession of the stuff. Right? This is at the point where she knows. She knows. She's been shown the photos. Hi there.
Possibly being dead.
Welcome to Okay, so
and you have yet to shed a tear. But when I mentioned to you that he
I gotta pause it there.
Let's hear what he
Let's
has.
listen to that again. Calls, checkmate.
He calls her
Checkmate.
out right away. He's like,
Just want my daughter back.
no, whiny voice.
and this is exactly what I was just talking about. We are literally having a conversation right now about Maddie possibly being dead.
Yeah.
And you have yet to shed a tear. But when I mentioned to you that you were crying violently almost. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Because that was physical proof. That was proof.
Mm-hmm.
He's pointing out that she had a stronger reaction to the relationship between, and I'm going to use that in air quotes, because I don't know what other word I can use that YouTube isn't going to take out if I describe it how it really was. But the conduct, I'll say, she had a stronger reaction to this idea of them having a connection than she did to her being unalive. Good evening, Jim Love. So happy you're here. Let's go back.
What was happening?
Mm-hmm.
That destroyed me.
Stronger reaction to the photos. So she's having a stronger reaction to the photos of things happening, of Stephan doing things to Maddie, than she is the photo of Maddie in the car unalive. And the detective finds that weird and he just tells her. And this is halfway into the interview, remember, where we've been hearing all this. And he says, you have yet to shed a tear. So he doesn't seem to buy the crying. Go back to that.
Until that picture of her asleep or not asleep in the car is not proof to me until I see a body. I have hope that she's still alive. But I don't know what you're telling me. I'm starting to fucking doubt everything.
Oh, she is so full of it.
But I can't tell you why I broke down over one and I'm being really serious now.
Welcome, guys. Like and subscribe. Remember, like the video.
So here's what's going to happen.
Good.
Starting tomorrow, it's already started, but tomorrow there's going to be information being released between our department and Orange County's Sheriff's Office, is that now this entire investigation is the Kissimmee Police Department's investigation. I think I told you that last night.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, we are probably going to start working this case as a homicide.
Okay, she says. That's it. Sherry Jones, welcome. Never seen you here before. Excited to have you here. Welcome. We are talking about the case of Maddie Soto, and we're reviewing audio of an interview between detectives and Jen Soto. This is part 2, and it would be helpful to put in context the rest of it, but we're just going to start with we're just jumping right in where we left a couple nights before. So just definitely check out, if you're just getting here and you're new, subscribe, like, and check out the playlist, because we have all kinds of stuff on here.
You hear that?
Oh, keep going.
We're going to start working this case.
Tell me it's so.
Okay, so she had like no reactions. I don't know if it's a delayed reaction, but it's weird. So again, what we're doing here too is we're doing statement analysis and behavior analysis and just breaking down this case. Yes, it so is. What a great group tonight. Very excited.
That was either the detective's stomach or her stomach that was growling, I guess. That wasn't me.
Did you hear that?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew I would tell you. Having it be such the homicide makes it official for me. Is there any more images you could show me?
Not at this time, no.
She asked him if there was any more pictures that he could show her.
And he threw away her backpack. That was her backpack in that bag.
He wants to see more pictures. Okay, is that a normal? I think that might be a normal reaction. I think that might be a normal reaction because, sorry, I'm getting a lot of comments in here. I'm trying to keep up. I'll try to pin them too. Because if somebody's telling you your child is dead or unalive, sorry, YouTube. If somebody's saying your kid is not alive, you probably might say, I need proof, right? I need proof. I don't believe it. Yeah, I think it's normal to ask for pictures. And she also, when she asked for, can you show me a map and I can tell you where he might have gone? I think that was also a normal ask. Hey, welcome guys, just arriving. Welcome.
He threw away her backpack. I have no clue what she says after that.
How long does somebody go to jail for this? Please tell me it's so much.
How long can somebody go to jail for this?
What?
Now,
so
why? Where?
You're hearing the comments of the Docket who procured this video that we're reacting to. So I'm going to kind of try to skip through them. But what? That's her first answer. How long can somebody go to jail for this? Please tell me it's so much. Huh? Wow, she's kind of crying. And I feel like I'm being ingenerous to a mother of a victim, but I can't, I would be completely ignoring all the signals in my gut if I didn't say this is not a normal reaction to me. But I want to know what you guys think. I definitely want to know. Sherry Jones. Oh, Guys, with the chats, come on, it's covering the screen. Okay, so Sherry Jones says, not always. I'm pretty sure it's denial over the harm she may have done. Sherry Jones, Sherry, are you familiar with this case? Is because I think that's a spot on comment that she's in denial and dissociated. I think that's what we're seeing psychologically. And the more that comes out, the more it seems to be that they have no evidence at all that she had any direct knowledge. And I think what we're all sensing is that she had indirect knowledge. And that there's no way around feeling like that. And then Sherry also says criminals like to stay tuned into their wrongs. Wonderful insight. 100%. Okay, Tipton Mama says, I think it's a normal reaction to cry, but it sounds off to me. The rhythm of the crying also sounds off to me. So usually crying, if it's a true emotional like spill over, it has a certain tonality to it. It actually starts deeper in the gut. So when she's doing this deep, crying, the ugly crying, if you will, and you can hear her kind of like gulping, that to me seems more real. And the getting high toned, that usually comes further in because the vocal cords thicken at the beginning of crying. And then later it's harder. Later you get the higher tone further into the episode. So it's not true for everyone. Of course, people will vary, but a general more than 50% average, right, is typically that's what we hear. So as humans who telegraph to others with our words and our body language, and I don't regret not having video here because it allows me to really focus in on the sound. She's telegraphing that she's not going in and out of emotions at a normal rate. Just a normal emotion usually fires for about 7 seconds, right, in a person's brain. And she goes in and out of this deep sob, supposed, being less than that. So your brain is picking up on that pattern and saying, this is not right. So that's my 2 cents. Let's jump back in.
Damn it, man. Where is that question coming from? How long can somebody go to jail for this? So that tells me she's more worried about how long either maybe she's going to go to jail, or she's definitely worried about how long Stephan's going to go to jail. I mean, where did that question come from?
It does sound like that, right?
Since when? Like in the hotel?
Anytime.
No, never. We got to watch her.
Right.
Does he go with cars?
Or she grabs the bottle, but like somebody's got eyes on her, grabbing the pills and taking them. Like it's a tag team situation. She's not allowed to take them alone. So we just make sure that 12 years.
What about Stephan?
On and off for 6.
Okay. Would you say he's pretty familiar with Russell County? Does he venture off?
No. I know he'll visit he likes to visit gaming shops and like board game shops. Does he drive around aimlessly just to kill? I mean, just to...
Oh.
Somebody asked me to play it back, so I rolled it back for you. There it was.
Did you hear that? That's could just be terminology, but it could be a little bit of leaking, right? We call that psychological leaking, where that idea in the back of your head comes out in the language that you choose. And she says, talking about Stephan, the guy who, in fact, unalived her daughter. And she's talking about his habits, his driving habits. The detective says, does he drive around just to spend time that way? And she says, well, I don't know if he drives around just to kill. And then she stops herself. Isn't that weird? Okay, Tipton Mama says yes. Sherry says, correct with the crying. But those who change emotions so quickly usually are considered psychotic if it's real, Sherry. But what if it's not real and then she's just faking it? And also, she is bipolar too, and she's on an antipsychotic. So we're talking about that may affect her behavior, right? We talked the other night about the medication she's on. I can't remember it just now. We looked it up together. It's on the last video. So maybe, right? Hi, Pete. Auntie Tipton says hi. He says hi, Pete. He says hi, Pete, back.
Drive? I don't think so. I think he goes out with plans.
Let me get that tea. Keep listening. Oops. Damn. I removed the wrong one.
Okay. Does he have close friends that live here?
In Central Florida, no.
No.
Mm-mm. The majority of his friends are in Northport, Florida.
Northport?
Mm-hmm.
Is he good with cars?
Is he good with cars?
Like, what do you know how to change the oil, change the tire?
I mean, supposedly he said he changed the tire on Monday and hurt himself. So I don't know how good that makes you if you hurt yourself.
Melly, are you still here? Yeah, I see you right there. Melly, I need you to slow down and chat, please. If I can find you. Hit me up
All
on
right.
DM.
Sorry to interrupt it again. I'm trying to be better about not talking while we listen. This is my attempt. I got your feedback. I'm also, by the way, I'm going to try really hard not to fall asleep, which is going to mean ending it before I get to that point of just like conking out. So sorry, can't go all night, but we will stay salty for a while after dark. It's only 7:30. Oh, so I was going to say, sorry. The reason why he's asking her, is he good with cars, is because remember he blew out the 2 tires driving off-road. So he is asking her, like, does he know what he's doing with a vehicle? Because we obviously know now that he does not. He ran the first car into the ground because he never got an oil change, never did anything with it. But his dad got saddled with a broken car because his dad gets saddled with everything he does. Chris Stern seems like a nice guy, mostly. But we know that Stephan was driving his dad's car that day, right? Because the Lincoln, because his dad wouldn't let him take his own car. He said, no, that needs thousands of dollars worth of maintenance. Tip to Mama, it is a quite profoundly unfortunate choice of words. Drive around a hill time. What the? And her reaction, and Sherry, you have some interesting insight. I would like your feedback on this. Do you think being on an antipsychotic could be a reason why Jen Soto seems to have completely inappropriate emotional responses to the inappropriate feedback, right? She breaks down when a normal person would be calmer or processing, and she cries when and she doesn't respond at all when a normal person would be freaking out, I think. And I use normal person in air quotes. People are vastly different, and everybody's, but she gives off, and we've talked about this before, but she gives off an incredible number of flags within a small period of time. So it just throws off my Richter scale.
on Twitter, please.
But yeah.
Do you got
Question.
Mhm.
The vehicle that you guys towed, that was his? Did it have a donut on the car?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Do you not know his car?
No, I do know his car. I just
Oh.
don't remember if I.
So I have some folks who are messaging me on chat that I just isn't coming through on this one. It's like they're not able to, so they're sending me private. Like it's coming through a different way, and I'll say that. So Stardust is telling me that no, she's faking it, right? I think this is a total fake. She only comes to life when she's talking about her boyfriend. Yeah. Shari says, in my personal opinion, no. Okay. Thanks for
ever
waiting.
actually saw the donut or not. I never came to inspect the car. I was wondering, was that true? Was that part of the story true? Did he actually get a flat tire?
Who is in St. Cloud?
I don't. Only I know people in St. Cloud, and he doesn't know where they live. And
Does he know those same people?
He's met them before and talked to them before when they've come over here.
Okay. Where do they live in St. Cloud?
Remember when they went to the hotel that night after Jen fell asleep? He took off in her car and he went to Northport, is what they call it. And Maddie's remains ultimately were found in St. Cloud. At this point, they haven't been found yet, and he is asking her about St. Cloud because on the GPS, this guy's going there. Why is he going there? They're asking her, they're peppering in questions so as to not focus her too much on what they're really looking for. So they're spreading them out, and they're doing a good job at it.
Off of Old Canoe Creek Road. Do you want me to get you an address?
Sure.
Suddenly she's helpful. So
Has he ever
helpful.
went with you to go see him?
No.
Never.
No. I've never even gone to her house like that to hang out. She always comes to my house. So they know each other. She lives in St. Cloud, but we've never gone to St. Cloud together with her to her house.
And how do you know her? She work with you?
Yeah, she's an old coworker from 14, 15 years ago.
From Disney?
No, we used to work at a pizzeria. That was when I was a lot younger.
Are you texting her?
Would you like me to call her or would you like to text?
No, I thought you were just gonna pull it up. It's off of Old Canoe Creek.
Yeah, I don't know her exact. I don't know the exact street or address or. I want to say it's actually. Hold on. If I pull up a map. So she lives off of this road right here, Nolte Road in St. Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Nolte. That's 192 right there. There's
Yep.
Old Canoe Creek, Nolte. She lives around there.
Would you be able to point it to me?
To which house? No.
Not the specific house, but like, is it in a neighborhood? Does she have her own land?
It is in a neighborhood. I don't remember where though. I don't know how far down. I have to drive down Nolte.
Are you familiar with Nolte?
No.
No.
No, I think I've only dropped her off at her house once.
Drop Maddie off there?
No, my friend.
Oh, your friend. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm
You
not
want
sure.
to text for the address?
Yeah, let me
Mhm.
text.
Yeah.
The only thing I really have to say about it at this point is that She keeps giving those really big sighs, and she seems happy to glam on to some little tidbit of, oh, I knew somebody way back then. And then she says, but he's never been there. He didn't know this person. So why do you bring her up? I don't know. It seems like a big old waste of time, but we can keep going. They'll get past it. And they're, like I said, they're peppering in between. If you ever take one of those, an assessment, a personality test, an assessment at a counselor's office, they ask you really serious questions and then really kind of chill questions, right? They don't group them all together. Hey, welcome guys to the new folks coming into the room. Remember, please to subscribe and like the video to help me keep bringing content to you as much as I can.
And what was her name?
Michelle Mason.
Yeah,
Masson.
2 S's?
Yeah.
exactly. So we're saying here, yes, absolutely. The antipsychotics and medications she was on for, whoa, where'd my window go? I lost you. Did I lose? Oh no, I know I'm alive. Okay. I just shut the window. The medications she was on could, kind of change her sense of reality and tune her out, make her have, I guess the psychological term, although I'm not a psychologist, would be affect, right? Change of affect. And there's a lot of personality disorders that can, kind of take on that issue, or that issue is connected to, I should say. But that is what we're seeing here. We're seeing inappropriate affect, and everybody's kind of going off and being like, not right, not right. And I think the thing is, we're instinctively, as a tribal, people are tribal. And when we watch something like this, it goes back to our home, right? Our family. It's as personal as it gets. And we think to ourselves, I think, in a tribal, familial way. Hey, welcome, guys. I'm happy you're here. We think to ourselves, I wouldn't do that. We compare our own judgment to others in the group, and that's normal, a normal reaction. But it's important also to remember to exercise empathy even when it's difficult. So I've been trying to extend some grace here with Jen Soto, and remember that she might be pretty dissociated from what's happening, but it is no freaking excuse.
The thing is, I don't think Stephan would know where she lives, but...
No, I'm
Yes.
not saying that he did, but
So why are you talking about
I'm
it?
just trying to see who you would know in St. Cloud.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only person. There might be somebody else that...
Yes, Sherry, it's taking place in a car. They're driving around. This is part 2 on Sunday night, I think it was it? No, Saturday night. We did part 1 of this interview. It starts in a car. It's February 28th, I want to say. Unless it was a leap year, then it was the 29th. It might have been the 29th.
lives, like, closer to Harmony.
They do.
But that's the only people I'd know.
Her emotions change way too quickly. They're way too... They calm faster than those chemicals would normally calm if they are real. So I think that's why our instincts say she's faking, fiending. I have bugs. And Mama says they are changing so fast because she's faking them. There goes that deep, heavy sigh again. She does this heavy put upon sigh. Right? And breathing is a good way to regulate your nervous system. She seems to me like she has some dysregulation. But this is not that. This is like a social behavior that is meant to telegraph, I'm stressed, don't stress me further. And it's not working. It's not going to put off this detective. That's what I see here. But please, you guys tell me, what do you see here? Let's keep going. I'm determined to get through the second half tonight, so we're not going to stop it too long. We're going to plow right through, guys.
What does it say?
There's 2 bird butts in front of me. It's hilarious. This is redacted, So I'm just going to babble while it's redacted. So yeah, I can't.
Michelle Mason, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
No. Even though they're in a car, the audio is pretty good and it's boosted. They boosted it pretty well. This is from the Docket, who has.
Oh, pardon me.
You guys. Well, it's redacted. I'm just going to let you see this larger. This is my life. I was normal 2 verbs ago. I swear. Okay, let's keep going.
Hit that thumbs up, gang, if you haven't yet.
Yeah, hit the thumbs up, guys. Thumbs up. Pretty please. Pretty please. And thanks for being with us on the replay or live.
Stephen's Plantation.
Stephen's Plantation. And it is going to be... I don't know what neighborhood that is. But if you go on Burberry Place...
Okay. Yep, no, it's up.
So I think they're looking at a map, and he's probably showing her places. They're welcome new subscribers. Cool. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the likes. Awesome. Love. Thank you for joining our flock. Crazy true crimers.
All right. Well, we're gonna check, see how they're going on inside. Like what we did last night. Do you swear and affirm everything that you've told us today is to the best of your knowledge? So help you God.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're going to conclude this interview. It
No,
is
help you God.
6:35 p.m.
Okay, the next interview
Okay,
is on
so that's the one I was.
3-1.
That's the one I was falling asleep through the end of last night, so we needed to finish the end of that. Sorry, guys. I could not, literally, I couldn't physically keep going. That's like the moment when you make a nest on your office floor. Not saying I've done that. Not saying I haven't. With the, like, your Pella office. Yeah, okay, never mind. Let's keep going. So the next interview, as the Docket is explaining, is on March 1st, just a day later. Okay, just 1 day later. And the significance is this is the day Madeline's remains are found. And they're found in St. Cloud.
Melody just taught me how to slow the chat down. Sorry.
Okay, we don't need his comments.
And to the fact.
Eventually return once it's all looked at.
To the best of your knowledge, so help you God.
Yes.
Okay. For this interview, it is 6:35 p.m. And to the fact that they have your key.
Eventually return once it's all looked at.
Okay, March
You guys
1st.
keep it forever. How does this work?
Eventually, it'll be returned. Yes.
Okay.
How long that takes, I don't know. It depends on how long, how much
Everything
stuff's
is
on there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
All right. Like I said, I just have a few more follow-up things to ask about.
Okay, so here, I think they haven't told her yet because I know this is the day she's found, but they're saying they just have follow-up questions. So this must be before she's found. So I wonder if we're gonna hear that announcement. Haven't heard this part. This is going to be a fresh reaction with you guys. I had watched the first part several times, so here we go.
Conversation
I think we're going to get salty.
last night. So
This is the same day she was found.
Yes. Okay. He just said the same thing. Yeah.
we're going to take you to the Orange County Sheriff's Office to pick up your car because they said they're done processing it. And they have your key up there. So I don't know if you brought a spare key with you or not, but
I don't know that the key that actually. Just kidding. I might have my actual original key, but the key that you guys have up there is my spare key.
oh, okay. So they have it up. And regardless, we have a key for you in case you don't have one.
So they impounded her car, and now on March 1st they're giving it back to her. That's what's going on right here.
Your dad mentioned something to the effect that your sister saw that there's going to be some kind of press conference today.
Yes.
Okay. just to let you know, we touched about it briefly.
Uh-oh. The press conference that day is the one where they announce her remains. So now we're here. I think we're about to hear them telling her. So, I think we're going to get a lot of insight. Let me just adjust this. Sorry, Coop. I think we might get some insight from this, depending on how she reacts. Whoa! Sorry. I dropped lipstick and they freaked. Sherry says, in my humble opinion, she's trying to figure out what she is going to say next, what truth or lie she is going to go with. I agree.
Briefly last night that we are taking over the investigation.
I like to call it surfing the facts. Like whatever facts come in, I'll just create a narrative that sort of works around them, and I'll contest any facts I possibly can and, attack them and break them down. And if that doesn't work, I'll just go straight to nihilism and argue that, facts don't exist and there's no such thing as facts anyway. And, atoms don't exist and we're not even here. Just none of it matters. F it. Like that's the most irritating argument possible. Okay, I'm going to stop on that. But, it's like, okay, we can all agree on certain things. Certain very specific equations allow us to create engineering that let us go to the moon. So, I mean, we have good reason I'm off on a tangent, but we have good reason as a species, to specialize and break off into specializations and build upon the collective knowledge and therefore create museums and, places and universities and things like that. And, we should question, but I don't know that we should waste our time questioning the basics while there's so much unknown left to discover if we're just willing to go with the flow and play nicely with others and work as a cooperative group to figure things out. And that's, I think, why Stephan Sterns is effed and why Soto may eventually end up being effed, because they're up against the collective consciousness of law enforcement and the general public who are pulling this apart. Like come on, we just can't look away, because it's like, well, how else is Maddie going to get any kind of justice in the form of truth and insight?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you say we, you mean homicide?
The Kissimmee Police Department.
Oh, okay.
So, but to answer your question, yes, we are now working this as a homicide.
Yeah.
Okay, because we have strong beliefs that Maddie is deceased.
Crickets.
So I don't want you to be caught off guard.
Do you hear that? Nothing. And I don't know. Okay. Let's take a poll. What do you guys think, please? Is silence the appropriate reaction? Just processing. Maybe it is. I think it probably is. I think I'd be silent. When at my worst, lowest moments of grief and acceptance of that something really bad is happening, that's when I have nothing left to say. So that might be a very normal reaction. She's also on anti-anxiety, but she's on lorazepam, I think she says. What is that, you guys? Is that Valium? Somebody remind me. I don't know. That's not really, that one's not my wheelhouse.
When that's being talked about later, okay?
Am I gonna be there at the press conference? Am I gonna hear it?
Oh man. I wanted to give her credit. I wanted to think that she was sobbing too deep to talk, that it was going to come out deep and guttural and barely breathing. But when she speaks, it's up here like mini bells. I'm going to call BS. I just don't believe these emotions. I don't. If this was if she was a sign language interpreter and she was trying to emote, trying to interpret to me the emotion she's verbally so trying to emote, I mean, I would think that there'd just be nothing there, like half the language gone. That's one of my background. So I'm just thinking, like, as a person who looks and listens for inflection, everything's wrong. It feels faked.
I don't know if it's going to be something that the family's invited to. Those decisions are way above my pay grade. It's just,
you know what, I am bothered by the fact that the first thing she asks about is, am I going to be there? I am bothered by that. It's live. She can watch it on TV. Why does she need to be there? Why does she want to be there? I don't want to be on stage when something like that's announced. Maybe what she's worried about is, am I going to be in jail? Why does she want to be there? Tipton Mama says, not a chance. There would have been silence. I'd have started hyperventilating. That's what I'm saying. Hyperventilation might sound like silence until you hear sucking in of air or a sob. Hey, Stephan Sterns, happy to have you back tonight. Welcome. We're doing part 2. We're not so far in, and this is exciting. Welcome back, friends. Okay, so they just told Jen. They literally just told Jen for Spencer and those others coming in the room. I'm going to go back 1 minute. They have just told her that they're going to do a press conference today to announce that they believe that Maddie is unalive. And she gives us a tiny little Minnie Mouse voice after silence and says, am I going to be there? That is the first question she gives us. And what the F is the first thought in my mind, but here we go.
to the fact that your sister saw that there's going to be some kind of press conference today?
Yes.
Okay. Just to let you know, we talked about it briefly last night that we are taking over the investigation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you say
Homicide.
you mean homicide.
The Kissimmee Police Department.
Oh, okay.
So, but to answer your question, yes, we are now working this as a homicide.
Yeah.
Okay, because we have strong beliefs that Maddie is deceased.
Yeah. I'd be fully hyperventilating by now. Hit the ground. No breathing.
So I don't want you to be caught off guard when that's being talked about later, okay?
Am I gonna be there at the press conference? Am I gonna hear it?
I don't know.
That's the first thing she asks in that high-pitched Minnie Mouse tone. That is not thick guttural with emotion. Those vocal cords are not thick with emotion. This is completely and totally faked. So if she's blunted from the lorazepam, okay, why is she doing this high-pitched fake cry for us? Why not? Look, I'm not going to lie. You can find in other places on this channel that I have struggled with some mental health challenges in my life, with emotional health, because how could I not have with my really kind of unique, crazy past? So I'm fairly upfront about emotional health and that being something that has to be acknowledged. When in my life I have needed assistance for calming myself, medical assistance, I think what happens is either like a sort of a depression after the anxiety sort of sets in, like meaning anxiety tends to create a like fight or flight kind of reaction where a lot of cortisol pumps through your blood pressure raises, and afterward your body is physically exhausted, right? So grief and getting bad news can literally just melt you like an ice cube into water. But that is not the reaction that we are seeing. That's not the blunting of emotion that we're seeing. I can't believe that that's what we're seeing here. I've had experience with this. I've seen it in many people close to me, and this is not in the range of what I would think is a normal reaction. It's denial. It's dissociation denial. That's what I would say. Now, one might argue that dissociation and denial maybe is a normal reaction, but
yeah, it's
almost like
just a neighborhood like that. Yeah, but they're like older homes. They're like 2-bedroom homes where the bedrooms are like. Well, the house is. I don't even know how to describe this house. Ranch houses.
long, real long.
Yeah.
Yeah, ranch style. Did Stephen and his wife live in that at that time?
Yes.
Yes. They owned it or rented it?
They rented.
They rented.
no, they keep calling him Stephen, but they're referencing Stephan Sterns. And one of the YouTubers I follow mentioned that they, when you read, when you notice somebody's, have you ever noticed that somebody mispronounces a word because they first learned it by reading? Like they're pronouncing it phonetically how it would be spelled. Well, that's kind of how you do with names. You read a file a lot, and then you just get that like warped in your brain. I think that he was right, and that's why people just keep calling him Stephen or Stephan, no matter how many times she says it the right way. Others, I think, like do it purposefully to kind of disacknowledge somebody, passive aggressive. But I don't think that's so much. I think these guys are just keep looking at their paper and they're just like, I'm just focused. Hey, welcome guys. We gotta.
You know why they went to Colorado?
Awesome. Remember to thumbs up. Thumbs up video.
I think Stephen was having a hard time finding a job here. Something that he liked, but he ended up, I think, getting an apprenticeship in Colorado with plumbing. He's doing that now.
Sorry, it's hard to hear. They are in a car and this audio is boosted. Some of it just gets low, but most of it's pretty good.
How did Stephen know all this was going on?
I
Told him that Maddie was missing.
yeah.
Oh, what was
What was his response to that?
Shock.
If I misspoke and said the wrong name, 1,000 apologies. I meant Plunder, Gray, and myself paid for this. My apologies if I
yeah, and
said
this
the
is a
wrong
Docket
name.
talking about. They
That's
it's very, very important to them to get acknowledged. I keep dropping things. My phone. Plunk. It's very important to these YouTubers to get acknowledged for getting the original documents from the FOIA request, because not only do they have to do the FOIA request, they have to pay money. It costs them hundreds of dollars, if not thousands by the time they're done bringing all this casework. And then other reporters just play it, kind of don't give them credit. So I'm really openly want to acknowledge Plunder, True Crime, the Docket, True Crime, and Gray Hughes Investigates for getting together and getting this original stuff. So we are doing a reaction from the one the Docket put up. You're going to hear some of his comments. Others I've left out because you can watch his version if you want to do that. And we don't want to have that much time tonight.
who paid for this.
Thank you guys for paying.
Plunder, myself, and Gray.
Available.
Yeah.
Everyone's response is shock and disbelief and worry.
Okay, Sherry, this is interesting. I'm going to highlight this. Thank you for giving me this interesting conversation to explore. Okay, she says, I feel you are giving too much to her manic issues. Meds like the ones she takes do not normally numb a person so much that they respond and then calmly give way to many facts. Okay, well stated. Hey, Gathering Voices, welcoming back, my dear. Yeah, well stated. I feel like that's way well put. And also she's bipolar too. She told us that in the first half of the video, or I should say the day before the interview on the 28th, 29th. And she told us what she takes. And bipolar 2 does not come, it's not designated with manic episodes. It's only hypomania. So that's something that you could probably like check the box for a lot of people if you don't feel like they check another box well enough. I feel like that's really generalized. And then she has generalized anxiety. And then she told us, here was the big bombshell from the last one. For those of you who missed it or haven't seen it yet, the big bombshell is that she is on disability for PTSD. And the PTSD is from date R word. Okay. So people are having a split reaction as to whether or not to have empathy for her or feel like that makes it way worse, right? You guys tell me. Hi, GV. You guys tell me, does that make it worse, or does it give you a sense of empathy for maybe missing something she's in denial and dissociated? I mean, am I giving her too much there? Because I'm really trying to, everybody's breaking it down, right? But I'm trying to come with a Sonder-like effect, right? Like a really get in their head so we can understand. And that is not to excuse them. It's not to give them credit in any way. It's only for no other reason but to get in their head so that we can understand. It's an autopsy. And so it doesn't need to be any more or less than what it is, because the truth is enough. The truth is bad or real or whatever adjective you want to put. Enough. All right, so I'll end that like blabbing monologue and let's keep going.
And he was another father figure to her for a few years. So he's really great.
For the year, he was another father figure to her for a few years. He was really great.
I know Detective Morris asked it earlier, but I'm kind of curious. Why didn't you go search for her? I know you said that you didn't typically know where to look, but was there any other reasons why you didn't want to go search?
I wanted to be home to make sure somebody would be home when she came home. I didn't want the house to be.
Why didn't you go search for her? I didn't want the house to be empty if she got home. Thanks, Sherry. Thank you. Appreciate it. And thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It's super freaking cool on a Monday night. It's a great way to start the week. I'm going to try to do it all week, meaning as much as I can. We have to get back to OJ. We have to get back to OJ. Thursday, Friday, you guys tell me. I need to figure out how to put up questionnaires in the chat so you guys can just click for me. It can be anonymous if you want. You don't have to talk, but please do talk. I love it. Thursday, Friday, let's get back to OJ. Let's get it back in his head, right? Okay. Thank you, guys. Oh, I got to tell you, since you're okay with me talking, let me show you something. I'll just show you, okay? Because I just want to show some appreciation. I had the opportunity to work with an amazing civil appeals lawyer. And we worked closely together over Labor Day. It's a thing that you do when you have big hearings, big motions. And I just felt like she was awesome in every way. We won. Dog is crying. Arfie, it's just a wind chime. He's totally freaked out by the wind chime. It's okay, baby. So we won that hearing, that motion. And I got surprised. Arthur, stop, baby. I got surprised this morning when a package showed up that I had to sign for. And my book in it. It was this lovely, I took the ribbon off, lovely Harry and David gift box filled with cheese and meats and cheese straws and popcorn, which you can tell I ate part of. There's tea. There's some that I left at the office. There's nuts. It's just such a thoughtful, so absolutely wonderful. So I'm not gonna pull it out on this video. She doesn't do criminal, but if anybody needs an amazing civil appeals attorney, let me know. I'll let you know. I hope I have the chance to work with her again. So just not, I mean, such a surprise when somebody just shows you appreciation you did not expect. So feeling grateful and inspired. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
And in the last few days, I just feel like, I don't know, the media have been like bombarding us, and
I will thank her out loud. I'll say thank you, Rupa. That was so nice. There's no reason I shouldn't. Thank you.
since like more news has come to light, it's just I've been feeling overwhelmed with the attention, and I just need to
Feeling it.
preserve.
Oh, boo-hoo. You've been feeling overwhelmed. You've been feeling over. Your daughter's been laying out in a field in a stretch of bamboo.
Oh,
Drove in there, they recognized.
oh no, I just suddenly moved our spot. That's okay. I wanted to move past his comments.
$100 wrapped up in there.
Okay. So a lot of people are feeling this way. Thank you, Spencer. Yeah, a lot of people are feeling this way. Like, how can you just be thinking about yourself and so into your own head and, oh, I'm so overwhelmed, when your daughter's not alive and you're not out there looking. You're not out there looking, right? And I've heard that one of, I wanted to be here. We get that excuse a lot, usually in cases where there's suspicion that the person knew and like the kid turns up unalive. It's a pattern. And because why go looking for something you know when you know where it is, right? Why go looking for someone when you know where they are? So, not looking is a red flag. I don't think it's normal to want to stay home. You can ask a family member to sit at the house. You can ask somebody to watch the house. You can have there's ways to figure that out. But to not be out when you know they're out. I've told this story once before, but my little bird, Pete, the little green one, he got out once. I live in San Diego, and this bird, there was a hole in my screen that I didn't know was there. The next door neighbor had a dog bit the screen. Anyway, long story short, this little hole, I thought that he was just kind of sleeping. I was chilling out. Hour goes by. I go, I should do a check on the bird. He's nowhere. My heart rate starts to go up. I started to literally feel panic. Guys, I was out there that night for like 3.5 hours, walking the neighborhood and calling for the bird. And I kept going back and forth like, okay, if he's lost and listening for me and I'm walking, maybe he's maybe I'm leading in the wrong direction. Do I just go home? And eventually I did go home, but I played bird sounds and called to him the whole time they came back to me. And I did rounds too. And it's just like, that's for a bird. And I remember just like every part of me felt like it was disintegrating in panic and loss. That's not at your kid. I just can't. And that's what we do. We compare other people's reactions to our own to try to interpret them. Is that wrong? It's normal. It doesn't always give us the right answer. Okay. So anyway, back to the comments, these wonderful comments. Okay. Love it when you guys chat with each other and make connections. That's so cool. Now, Spencer says, love that gratitude and appreciation. Yes. I'm just feeling very appreciative. Okay. And there's always reasons to be stressed out about stuff, but like, I feel like recently I felt a lot of generosity. And I think that the more one thinks about and highlights the generosity in their life, the more we attract it. And I don't mean manifesting. I mean seeing the flags and going toward the light, so to speak, instead of toward the darkness, right? Going toward positive patterns instead of negative patterns. So, okay, that's my spiel on that. Mama says, the OJ lives have been quite insightful and enlightening. Yeah. And they're also like popular. Like just this week, I got a notice that there's been like 2,000 views this week between all the different episodes. And there's clearly like people enjoy it. And I got to chat with Real Justice today. He's been putting up new videos. Check him out. Always fun. And, he said he'd drop by. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, so we'll do that. You guys feel like Thursday, Friday? What's a good night to go back to the night of the big M? That's where we left off, you guys. And I wouldn't want to pick up and shortchange it. Like it has to be a Friday or Saturday. And we're going to do this right. I got to reread that chapter. And then we're going to read it live right here. All the pieces that we hadn't done before. Okay, Sherry says, nope, not wrong. Yeah, I feel like not wrong. Like we want to criticize her. I want to criticize. We have a lot of reasons that we're like, And a lot of them are very fair reasons. Okay, especially in a world where the most likely outcome or the most, the simplest explanation is usually the most accurate explanation. But we're also dealing with an unlikely set of facts. So the outcomes, are not necessarily the most likely. Okay. Mama says Friday. Vote for Friday. Joe can be here. We always enjoy Joe. Joe Tipton. Okay, cool. Simpson on Friday. I'll put up, I already have the thumbnail, baby. I'm going to put it up. Okay. Friday, 7 o'clock, 7:30 PST. Be here, be square. You can come square if you want, though. You can be whatever you want to be. I'm just saying.
A long while. So yeah, they hung out even without me around. Yeah.
You wouldn't happen to know Stephen's birthday, do you? And you said he lives in Colorado now?
Yeah.
Is Stephen married?
Yes.
Is his wife with him here with?
Yes.
Oh, I gotcha.
When do they move out there?
A year or two ago, not sure exactly how long.
Any idea if Stephen and Stephan has still been communicating?
In the last few days, yes.
I don't think it's in the last few days because he's been in jail.
No, sorry. Before he got arrested.
How do you know that?
Because we were all contacting each other.
How would you contact each other?
I was texting.
You hear that?
Stephen Young and making
You hear that?
phone calls with Stephen Young.
Several days before he got arrested because we were all contacting each other. Okay. So a few days before he got arrested, they had shown her the pictures of on Stephan's phone with Maddie doing things to her. Okay. So I wonder what the timeline was because she stayed in contact with his dad for a while. This chick is very odd. Oh my gosh. I'm really enjoying your contribution. It's very funny. It's very funny. She is so odd. I couldn't put it better. I couldn't put it better. Because odd. I'm going to let the dog.
Would you happen to have those messages on your phone?
No, I'm not falling asleep.
Can I see?
The discussions we were having were like trying to get Stephan a lawyer. Because this is when I thought he was still innocent, but he's not.
What is tell me about the Williamsburg. Is it like a neighborhood? Is it apartments? Condos?
House, neighborhood house.
You think so, Elon? You think so? Yeah, go back to where I know where you're coming from, and take your punk ass back over there, because you're jealous that Plunder, myself, and Grizzly paid for this. Now go back over there where you're all butthurt, so you're going to
Okay,
start
you
coming
hear
over
this?
here and
This is kind of funny. I'm sorry. Like, okay, I'm not gonna be insulting in the slightest, but there's some kind of feud happening in the true crime world where this guy who buys a lot of the footage, 3 of them get together and buy a lot of the footage and the stuff on FOIA requests. So they feel like people are stealing their stuff, so they go live and they're commenting, and they're like arguing with the people that are watching them and like kicking them out and banning them and making certain comments. So a lot of the comments are very, very nice and insightful, but I'm trying to cut out the ones where they're snarking at each other. And you can tell this guy is like pissy. I'm not commenting on whether or not he has a right to be. I enjoy his videos. I enjoy Plunder. I enjoy Gray Hughes. I will even go out there and say, you guys, I'll do FOIA. I'll go in on FOIAs with you. I will absolutely, like, I'm a certified paralegal. And I'm happy to help with the fees. I'm happy to join in split fees too. So let's get together, and I respect your perspective, and but people can go to his channel if they want to hear the whole thing.
trolling. So
Everyone's response is shock.
Just folks are trolling him, and you guys be nice to him. Go give him a like, give him a subscribe. Don't troll him. Subscribe to Plunder. Subscribe to Gray Hughes. Okay, you got it.
And worry. And he was another father figure to her for a few years. So he's really worried.
My mama calls this Christmas tea. She calls it Christmas tea. Sweet and spicy good earth tea. It is so good. Katie likes it too. Yeah. I mean, I'm not confused. I'm quiet. Like, let me help. I'll go into y'all. Okay.
I know
I will my videos with you.
asked it earlier, but I'm
I
kind
will
of
put my
curious.
money where my mouth
Why didn't you go search for her?
is. Yeah, me.
I know you said that you didn't typically know where to look, but was there any other reasons why you didn't want to go search?
I wanted to be home to make sure somebody would be home when she came home.
Okay, guys, I wanna your opinion on, is it normal to stay home? What do you think? Is there any, can we work into our mind, can you see yourself staying home? Or would you be out looking? Do you have a sense of what you might do? Okay, so you guys, okay, some good comments. WTF, she knew what he did and she was staying in touch with him. Yeah, that's why I say I wonder about the timeline. Like, is she talking about before they showed her the pictures? You listen to the interviews of the parents and the dad saying she keeps texting him. Why is she still texting dad? Why? What? They're the parents. I get it. They're going to keep supporting him. But why is she texting with him? I mean, maybe it's simply that she hasn't processed yet and it's shock and they're trying to, I get it. You're talking with the parents. Maybe it's like, hey, what did I miss? Did you see it? Do you see it? I don't think that's the nature of their communication. So I think it was more like, you better get him a lawyer, that kind of thing. He needs this, he needs that, because he's just too precious.
I didn't want the house to be alone. And in the last few days, I just feel like, I don't know, the media have been like bombarding us light. It's just, I've been feeling overwhelmed with the attention, and I just need to
Sorry, I just can't with her whiny voice. It's so whiny, you know? Like, it's missing the thickness of true emotion. It's missing the timbre of true emotion. And we've heard her cry. We know that she has that range, and she's just not doing it. So it's missing normal affect.
preserve
Oh, boo-hoo. You've been feeling
Oh my
overwhelmed.
gosh, okay, he's really like,
so much seeing someone.
Mama says, big surprise though. She pretty much put a bow on Maddie and gifted her to him as a plaything. So gross. Yeah, we all feel that way. Like, there is nobody I know who hears this story and goes, oh, okay. It's just normal. I sent them to bed. I was afraid. My biggest fear was a Woody Allen situation. Like, you start to put these pieces together, and these are not things someone says or goes into their head without like some real like flags. It's just not. What do you guys think? Tell me. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Tell me. Let's talk about it. Or am I right? Let's talk it through. Sherry Jones says, and we're going to get through this. We're getting there. Sherry says, she knew this creepy man unalived her daughter, and yet she adores him and leaves her missing progeny alone, decaying. Ouch. The sharp truth of that observation is just a killer. It's a killer. I can feel it in my body, in my bones. It's just like, well, bad word to use. Unfortunate choice of words. Killer, right? Yes. See, leakage. Okay. Mama says, I'd be walking the street if I didn't have a car knocking on doors. There isn't any way I'd stay home. Yeah. Okay. That's the other thing I did. My neighbor thought I was a lunatic because I asked her to help me. I was like, have you seen a little green bird? And we're just we're out and about, we're out in San Diego with big old eucalyptus trees and oaks. Have you seen a little green bird? And it's dusk. It's getting dark. I'm running around after dark looking for come on. I can't even find him in an apartment if he doesn't want to be found. And I was running up to people. Have you seen my dog? I guess I sound like a horrible pet parent, but I've had them for many years. Okay, so many things have happened. But when my dog wandered out of my yard, he went to a neighbor's house. They called. I was panicking. I was running around when I got the cell phone call. I was running around just yelling at people, like, have you seen a dog? Have you seen a gold dog? Like yelling in Spanish, yelling in English. A lunatic. Okay, Mama says I'm right. Okay, guys. Like, I feel like I'm in I feel like I have a little bit of a closed off perspective to this. Like, I'm trying very hard to see it from her perspective, but I'm not really able to stretch myself. That it's a big leap, you guys.
It's just weird. It's just very heavy to handle other people's emotions when you're.
It's heavy to handle other people's emotions? Where are yours, dude? Where are yours?
Dealing with your own, like you have to comfort everyone. But all I want is to be comforted. It's really heavy when the entire family and everyone's breaking down around you.
Well, she was comforting Stephan, but why does she have to? Like, she is the mom, and it seems to me like she was getting a lot of attention. Like, I don't understand that. That seems like a shameless plug for this officer or this detective to offer some kind of comfort to her, reassurance. Right? All I want is to be comforted, and you can offer that to me. I'm a damsel in distress. Maybe I'm taking that theory too far. I don't know. Mama says, to see it from her perspective, you'd need to put on demented glasses. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. A disturbing picture.
I want to preserve my mental health. I'm just worried.
She is a self. Very.
I've been, in the past, I've been hospitalized for my mental health issues. And I'm just afraid like that this is going to make me spiral again. So I'm just trying to stay sane.
Trying to keep it together.
Yeah. I don't want to end up back in the hospital again. I don't.
It's jealousy, JR. It's jealousy, and it's eating.
All right, I am starting to find it really annoying that when he breaks in with comments, it's not about the video. It's just a snark at people. That's getting really annoying. Hey, Docket, come on, it feels petty. It just feels petty. You're above that. Be above that. Well, I like the comments. Don't be apologetic for that. Comment on the video, okay? Or just like somehow relate it, but just like yelling at people is a kind of turn off. Don't block me for that. I gave you money.
Say it again?
Can you tell him what the medication was?
The brand name is Geodon.
Geodon, okay.
Geodon. And then
Okay.
it was,
We shared that in the last one.
what was the, it started with a Z?
The generic name is what would say on my medication bottles is Ziprazidone. But it's
Ziprazidone, yeah.
Ziprazidone.
Okay. I'm going to read this off to you really quick. Ziprazidone treats mental health conditions like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder by balancing the levels of dopamine and your serotonin in your brain. These substances help regulate your mood, behaviors, and thoughts. The brand name is Geodon. That's from the Cleveland Clinic. I don't know, they can really spiral you out of control, but that's not what I'm saying.
And what was the medication that Maddie would take?
Hydroxyzine.
Okay.
That is a fancy Benadryl. Calms you down, puts you to sleep. It's an antihistamine in prescription form.
And that was used for what purpose? To help her sleep?
To help her sleep or for anxiety. But that's like,
There's a bombshell coming.
I think that's like a version of Benadryl that we would give her. At least that's how her doctor described it. It's like giving her
Hey, she
Benadryl.
knows.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great picture. Nice, your smile. Yeah, good face. It's so little.
Do you know my family's behind you? They would follow you.
I know they're coming up here. I don't
I
know if
know.
they were following me specifically, but they have the address. I gave them the address.
This
So
is
they're
the little
gonna have someone
trouble.
drive your car back to Kissimmee.
I think I've only, I was gonna say I've driven twice since all of this has happened, and one of the times was scary because I was ugly crying and I couldn't stop. I was sobbing, and driving like that is not safe at all. I just don't want that to happen again.
This is why I was complaining earlier.
I'm seeing myself drive when I'm left. My fair bird
Do you think he'll reach out to you?
feathers. Yeah.
I don't think so. He'd be really fucking stupid if he did.
He knows your number though, probably by heart.
Actually, I'm not sure. I don't know. If he were to call, what would it say? Orange County Jail? Because I'm not going to pick that up.
So it was
It would either say Orange County.
it was a little low and hard to hear there. They're driving around, remember, so sometimes it gets noisier and they're shuffling papers. But the detective says, has he contacted you at all? And she says, well, that would be really effing stupid. And then she's like, well, what would it say if he did? Would it say the jail? She has interesting questions. Like, she has no flipping questions at all when they say, we're going to do a press conference because we think she's unalive, except can I be there? She doesn't say, how do you think it happened? She doesn't say, why do you think that? Any of the W's, who, what, where, when. She never actually asks those questions. Okay. Jones says, she gets to put her very pathetic alive body in a hospital. Freaking, oh, woe is me. So freaking selfish and pathetic. If nothing else, and I doubt that very much, she is a selfish. All right, I'll take that one. Mic drop. Drop the mic. What else can you say? That sums it up.
You're also accounting
It's
for
beautiful
actions
baby
of
girl.
effect.
This beautiful baby girl. She let the monster in. And in many cases, people look back and they're like, man, I wish I would have known. I have so many regrets. How could I should have known. And they look for signs. They look back. And like, I personally, she's not here tonight. Sometimes she's on our channel. I personally know someone that I met because I had a coworker who is accused of unaliving his partner. And I was on a YouTube with an update about him. And she came on it and was like, hey, that's my ex-boyfriend. So I literally know people who have like come out the other side and are the survivors of that kind of person. Again, there's a pattern, and there are always exceptions to the pattern. There's a very clear pattern in criminology that shows certain correlations.
You wouldn't answer it?
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Sorry. Here's this woman who had every warning sign and chose not to act on it. And I'm not going to lie about this. When I was younger, I can remember a time in my life. There are times when I've been in denial and currently and known it and been like, this is a useful crutch. I am going to separate myself from this thing that is just too much, and I'm going to allow myself to put up a mental barrier, right? That's a tool. That's a thing. That's a thing. I guess I'm just going to say that. But you're doing it. And to do it at the expense that she did it at, that's why I'm leaving this comment pinned right here. That is just, yeah, sorry, that's true. It's true, I think. It's just my opinion.
Pretty much not picking up phone calls from my phone.
Thumbs up.
It's
You haven't
either
already.
reporters, or I've had a lot of scam calls, people screaming in the background going, help me, and hanging up. But that's not Maddie's voice.
Oh, that's mean. That's mean. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's horrible. It's very mean, sadistic. So I should say, and that's a pretty common thing you see in like, there's like I swear, I have a background in criminology. I should say I have a degree in criminology. And I've had a lot of teachers, instructors, and people who work in like law enforcement. That's not what I studied. I studied the social science of it. But often the instructors are people who come from CJ, criminal justice, and there's overlap in the classes. And one of the things you see is like in anybody, like in any group, there's this sadistic streak in some people. And a thing that they do is, auditorily kind of mess with people. You'll see that like in jails where I literally studied a case of somebody who I ended up meeting in class because it turned out he was innocent. And these guys the prison guards and jail guards had messed with his head by putting a speaker near his cell and playing sounds of a woman saying, "Help me, save me, you unalived me," and things like that, and just messing with their head. Real mean, real nasty, but it's a thing people do to others that they think are evading justice or deserve it, right? And in criminology, they have a term for that, or have a concept for it. Professional masking, where say you're like a sadistic, nasty person, and you know that people get punished if they exercise their sadism as a criminal. So you join the other side and you say, well, I'll exercise it against people who I'm allowed to exercise it against. Right? So that's called professional masking. It is torture. And this guy won a settlement. Ron, I wish I could remember his last name. I used to have his book. Time goes by, I didn't keep all the books. I'm sorry, Ron. There were two guys who ended up being across from each other on death row. And they met each other, I guess, through a fence in a yard at some point, and believed each other that they were both innocent, made a pact that if one got out, they'd help the other. That's exactly what that happened. One of them came to my class. The other just unfortunately had passed away by then. He was one of the guys that was tortured. And they don't get much money. Even if you get a settlement, it's not much money. So give up 20 years of your life. Oops, sorry. Right? That's not okay. That's why it's not okay, because those people are not fact finders. They're not judge and jury. They can't. And that's cruel and unusual, right? It's just not okay anyway, no matter what. That's not the way you deal with perpetrators. It's not the way you deal with it as a society. I have a lot of opinions from a criminology perspective and a psychology, criminal psychology perspective. That's where most of my spewing comes from. But on these videos, as you guys know, I often take off my professional hat and I just give you my opinions. And most of what I'm saying tonight is as opinion, entertainment, but also educational in general, right? Educational in general. Right. He is cold. I clearly talked too much.
No, she did not make a 911 call.
The pictures ran out, but what I'm going to do while we're live, guys, is just make the real of it. Thanks, Mama. Oh, is that a fun little image? I'm going to see if I can bring up that one.
I did remember something from our conversation last night.
Yeah, yeah.
I could mention it to you guys.
No, this she's getting ready to talk about one of his kinks. So just so you're warned.
Adult audiences only, no children, guys. This is going to get weird. Trigger warning. She's going to talk. Or some stuff that's very gross considering who he is. It's like any of that's gross about anything about him's gross.
You guys asked me about kinks.
What?
Like sexual kinks.
Yep.
And something occurred to me last night.
Okay.
He's into I think anal kink. That's something he's asked me a few times, and I've that's not my thing. I've refused. But if I remember, he told me he was always into butts. So, butt stuff.
But you guys never had anal sex. Did he ever tell you he had anal sex with anybody else?
It's disturbing, very disturbing.
Not that I can recall.
See how much
Also, you asked me in the interview room about his triggers.
Triggers.
I think triggers was like the
now this part's kind of interesting. We find out that he has a temper. But you see how much better the audio gets when they come to a red a stop sign or a red light? I mean, it's really good.
Yeah, the audio does get better. Look how adorable this sweet little girl. Sweet little girl.
wrong word to use because
one of the reasons that we're covering this is, maybe there's somebody that needs to hear what the risks are and wake up, not to shake people's trust, but just like, the risk of dissociation when you know that something is wrong to the point that you're taking Ativan, which is like Valium to calm your anxiety, is because there's something, and I'm somebody who's really, really suffered with severe anxiety. That's because something's wrong. Something's up that's wrong. And, it's not necessarily what you think it is when you're having just anxiety, right? Especially if you're BP and things like that. But I think this is a woman who is very aware that there was a super, super dangerous undercurrent happening and continued to choose the guy. They call it a paramour. When somebody puts their partner, their love interest, above their child to the point of sacrificing their child this way, they refer to that interest as a paramour, because that person is, like everything. Nothing is more important. And if you have a child, it's right for you to say to your partner, nothing's more important than him. Nothing's more important than her. I'll always agree with that. And they didn't do that. They did not do that.
I couldn't think of triggers, but he does have a temper. He's very irritable and very negative about the world and
okay, he does have a temper.
Things. Driving would piss him off. Like, depending on how people were driving around him, he'd get really irritable with that.
Okay.
Me nagging him would make him really irritable. Like, if I asked him to clean the house or help me with something. But, would he lash out and explode with me? No. But I believe he's done that with his parents.
Mama says, I love that you share your educated opinions and the facts and why you have formed your opinions. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I try to. For me, education was a real lifeline. And, I just like to share what I love to collect information. And for me, information is a gift. It's precious. It's my paramour. It's like information and truth to orient myself to the world. And, to me, it's an act of love oh, wow, I'm being gushy. But like, that's the highest social calling to me, is to cleanse with sunlight. So that's what we do. And I get to be salty about it, at least here. I've thought about making a more like a professional channel and keeping this one very casual. The birds, the playfulness, like the raw lives. Okay, so this is one of the reasons I had in this title, raw police interview, because what she's talking about right now. Let's get back into it.
Has he ever done it with Maddie?
Lashed out in front of us like that.
Or to her?
To her? No, I don't think so, no.
Has he ever got irritated or angry with her?
wasn't like anger out of the blue or anger, like random anger. No, it was always like Maddie wasn't doing what she was supposed to be doing, kind of thing. So we come down.
That doesn't make sense.
And when you say come down on her, obviously, do you mean discipline?
Yell
Yell,
at her.
okay.
Yeah, we would never hit her. We were never physical with her.
Okay.
We would just be like, "You're supposed to be doing this. You're not doing this. What's going on? Are you spacing out? Are you being lazy?
So,
Get on it."
you know, I come from a family of loud people. I'm a meniscal. I'm a, like very expressive, but yelling at a child, at somebody's, it can be a form of abuse. It shouldn't be done. It's, it shouldn't be done, and it shouldn't be acceptable. And I'm not proud of the times I've gotten loud, not at all. And I can think of, when it comes to my family, kiddos, children, like I know I've never ever yelled at them. Not once can I think of a time when I've yelled at. No. This is not, doesn't come, it hasn't ever happened. I don't think so. And it's, I've yelled at this one though. When he bites me, he draws blood. I would dare you not to shout at that. Big Jennifer side.
Yeah, he wasn't a parent.
You guys, my name's Jen, and I hate that her name's also Jen. She spelled it like me. I'm like picking on Jen. I'm getting tired of calling her by my own name.
He wasn't a parent. He was a pedo. Closed down. Let me rewind that a little bit because
Same thing. You come out and help me. We were in the beginning of all of this. We were all under the impression that I had given Stephan the benefit of the doubt, right? I had assumed he dropped her off, that she went missing, and that he had nothing to do with it. I believed him. He's a master liar and a master manipulator. Me and Stephan's dad have discussed this already. Like, we had a conversation.
I almost called him Steven because the other guy keeps calling him Steven. He's a master liar and a master manipulator. Here she reveals that that's what she's talking to his dad about. Okay, I can see that. People kind of get together and form a little bit of a support group when they're trying to make sense of somebody else who's been creating a false reality and gaslighting them, right? They're trying to sense make. And that is normal. I mean, like, I feel it doesn't feel right that I'm sitting here just calling normal, not normal, not normal. But I'm telling you what my instincts say. And I have like 20 years now of interviewing, in a corporate setting and having to make calls with people, entrance calls about whether or not somebody's going to get into this law school. Am I going to hire this person? And having to make these blink decisions based on what they're showing. Right. So based on that, I do have these reactions, and I form these responses, and they're based on a lot of undercurrent, right? So, but I try to base it in social science and real observations, context, always with context, not one thing, but clusters, body language, and it has to go in clusters. Statement analysis is a little cleaner, but context still matters, right? Sherry says she has all kinds of not normal. You're cracking me up tonight. You're like batting 100.
Like, what does he lie to you about? What does he lie to me about in the past about things? And it's stupid stuff, but he's a liar. So I'm realizing he's been lying to me about shit this whole time, and I just haven't had the slightest idea.
Maybe I should say relatable, or she's saying the quote right things. But that sometimes kind of bothers me too when, like, okay, that idea of a master manipulator and narcissist, those things are in the collective consciousness. Those are ideas that are kind of embedded. So I think people turn to them for sense making quickly, and often that gives them a quick little box to check so that they can kind of like, ignore the littler things that don't fit in that box and just like make sense of the big ones and move on. And unfortunately, that can leave you with a lot of gap, a lot of space in between when it comes to trying to understand what's going on. And I think that, it's good that people are aware of what narcissism is, but awareness sometimes turns into, seeing it everywhere and failing to actually diagnose what you really are seeing, right? So I'm not sure I don't think we're seeing narcissism here, even though people are, kind of aware of that idea. I don't think that we're seeing that at all, even though she's so into herself. It's just, my instinct says that it's not that. And we already know she has a bipolar 2 diagnosis.
But before any of this,
And Stephan, I'm not seeing narcissism in him either, other than the level that we see in children, where they think other people don't understand what's in their head and they make up unsophisticated lies. Like, his lies get in front of what he's doing, but they're with all the same group of people that he knows that he doesn't have to make up that solid of a story with, because they're not going to check him. They're with his parents. They're with Jen. So nobody's actually challenging him. So why does it have to be, complex? It's like, no, I didn't eat that cookie. Right? We obviously know what he is. He's a monster. But a narcissist? I don't think so. That would be shortchanging the monster that he is. Narcissists are, usually like, they're created out of trauma, inability to relate to others. What he seems to be, we know that he had a TBI, traumatic brain injury. Oh, Sherry, I think you made a comment about TBIs before, so I'd love your opinion on this. At 8 years old, Stephan Sterns was hit by a car. He sustained a traumatic brain injury, and his mom says he's never been right since. So it's interesting that he was 8, and his development seems to have sort of frozen around 8. And Maddie was 8 when he came into her life. Is that contributing to the making of him being what he is? The brain damage? I don't know. Am I just like in outer space right now?
I assumed he was innocent. I assumed you guys were pursuing him and you guys had the wrong guy, because I'm just like, of course, they're going to go for the last guy who saw her. And I wanted to think the best of him and think, oh, he's innocent, but you guys are just pursuing the wrong person. So Stephen Young was helping me because he has like family that's got contact with lawyers or something like that. So he was giving me lawyers for Stephan. But then once...
It comes full circle. The dad said, he called and said, you got to
at this point I do.
Why do you say that?
Because when you guys showed me that picture of her slumped over, she couldn't.
Yeah, what just came to mind? That old story I learned in psychology class, like Psych 101, about the guy Phineas something or other, who it was some kind of industrial accident, and a metal rod went straight through his brain. They show a X-ray, and he was like one of the first cases where they know somebody had brain damage to a certain area, and it completely changed their personality. And justification? No. Explanation? Yes. We're not seeking to justify. We are seeking to understand. Because insight is power. We don't have to dissociate ourselves from insight. Like saying, oh, that's too ugly, I won't look. That's a minor version of what Soto did. That's a minor version of what Jen did. Right? And I think we have to look. All of us have somebody in our lives who maybe we could say, what are you doing? Don't do that. That's a risk you should not take. somebody should have been saying that to her. And I think Deb Sterns was, but she never mentions that, does she? She doesn't mention the text she sent to Stephan, sorry, that says, I forget, what is it now? That says, I can't let Maddie sleep with me anymore. I can't risk it. Can't risk what? No, you can't let a 13-year-old girl sleep in bed next to your boyfriend, 6-year boyfriend, stepdad status or not. No, you can't do it. A biological father, an adopted father, would not do it. They would not let their daughter wake up next to their hard-on. I'm sorry, but you don't do it. I'm just going to be frank. You can't help. A lot of men can't help that morning hard. And you're going to let your daughter wake up next to that? Inappropriate. On about 17,000 levels that I could think of off the top of my mind. It's too late at night to couch what I'm saying. We all are thinking it. We all know it. What is wrong with her? Okay. All right. Stepping off my horse.
Be asleep or drugged, but
What the heck?
if he was driving around and she just disappeared, like
Thank
that to
you.
me feels like
Yes, it is.
he dumped her body.
Let's just call it out. Why is it wrong? Why is it disturbing? Let's just call out the obvious. Don't we know? Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the obvious truth that she is ignoring?
Somewhere.
Where?
I don't know.
Where?
I sent you the name of the stores that I remember him mentioning, him saying that he was gonna visit. But I don't know if he ever made it to them. I don't know.
How can you be worried about your ex-boyfriend getting a lawyer and put resources or time into that instead of plastering the neighborhood with posters of your child and pleading for her return and it being out there looking? Look at that lake. Look at the places she goes. Look near the school. Look everywhere. Look at trails. Make a schedule. Trade off with people to wait at home. There's going to be things that you think of or you can see that somebody else can't see. I mean, you got to get out there.
Yeah, I'm assuming he did. He fucking lied about that trip too. I don't think he had his phone with him during that time either. I don't think.
What he's talking about is when he drove to Northport in her car. They got kicked out of her house because it was a crime scene. Dad got them partially paid for their hotel room, and they all went. Stephan, Jen, and their pets went to a hotel room. He waited for her to pass out on meds and drove to Northport from Kissimmee. Nobody really knows why. I still don't think they have figured out why. I think they determined he might have gone to his dad's storage facility and gotten that blow-up doll. But I don't know if it was on that trip. So I don't think it was.
It's just everything is too coincidental and way.
The mom found a blow-up doll from torso up in his closet, and she knew Maddie was missing, and she just freaked out thinking that maybe it was real. And there was a detective staking out her house, and she went just screaming down the street. That is a normal reaction. This mom is so histrionic. She's very funny. She's a total biatch. And we watched the first half of the first half of the parents' interview where they're just spilling everything to detectives about Stephan. They don't believe he's innocent. They know he did it. And they're just talking about it, sharing, trying to make sense. And they share the craziest things. So we got halfway through that. We're going to do a part 2 this week, and we'll close up both of those. This is part 2 of Jen's interview, and then we're going to do part 2. And then I think what would be really interesting for you guys is a very brief interview that they did with Angelica, Jen's roommate. Angelica is the roommate that Stephan recorded by putting a camera under the bathroom door and recorded her undressed. And there's an interview where she's giving her opinions about him, and they tell her this happened. It's short. Maybe this week we'll do that, because this week we're just going to plow through what is left of the developments in all the documents in this case. We have a lot of folks who are following because of this case, so we're gonna see it through. But by Friday, Friday's OJ night. Okay.
So suspicious. Like,
Where do
Yeah,
you think he took her?
I have no idea. I wish you guys could, like,
You don't have one idea in your brain that thinks.
of where she could be. No, I would tell you. I would so fucking tell you. I want my child back, but I have no idea where he could have taken her. I think I asked you guys, like, for
No, hold on. I can't. Okay. Notice the psychological distancing. She uses second person. My child. Okay, at least she's claiming her. But she doesn't use her name, and that's a red flag. That is always a red flag if you're looking at somebody who has guilty knowledge and they've done something to someone, if they've done something to the kid or the person, right? If they're a perpetrator, do they say their name? People who are grieving and want their kid back, they tend to say their name a lot. And this is not just a stereotype. This is true. My child. Oh, my child. She can't say her name. Maddie.
a map. Like, if you guys could show me where around town he drove to see if I could recognize anything familiar, any place familiar. But
Yeah, you remember too. Yeah, you guys would remember. I'm gonna look it up.
I think you guys said he drove around too much, so I don't know.
I mean, we've told you some areas.
I think you guys mentioned St. Cloud and like 192, but I've never been with him. I don't think to St. Cloud. We've never done anything in St. Cloud together.
I found it. Pause. Phineas Gage. You guys, Phineas Gage in 1848. Phineas Gage had a workplace accident in which an iron tamping rod entered and exited his skull. He survived it, but it was said that his personality changed as a result, leading to a greater understanding of the brain regions involved in personality, namely the frontal lobe. So there's this link on Very Well Mind. I'll put it up on the comments. And it talks all about it. And Phineas Gage is and his impact on psychology, his accident and what we learned about the brain's impact on behavior. And you guys, it always goes back to the brain. And I'm not saying that we don't have these moments where we can override the bad instincts. That's why we're human, right? That's part of humanity, is being able to, like, saying that is not an instinct I should act on. That is not my higher self. That's not my better self. This guy didn't have that. Okay, here's a link to Phineas Gage right there. Let's go back. Let's finish. We got to finish. We got to finish before I fall asleep. We have to do it.
I didn't even think he would drive that down there, because everything for the most part that he did was in.
He says Stephan's name way more than Maddie's. If we word clouded her interviews, it would be Stephan, child, daughter, Stephan, daughter, Stephan, Maddie. See where she it would be sleep, dogs. You know, like, I wonder what it would be. We should word cloud them. Oh my gosh, that should be the shtick. I should do that. I should word cloud these cases and put it up for you. That would be really fun to see. Scathingly brilliant.
Orlando by the mall or on 182 somewhere.
Which mall?
I think the Florida Mall.
Florida Mall.
Hanging in, OGs, salty clock. Even the bird is something on. One of them is. The other one's in his like,
You're welcome, gang. You're very welcome. Thank you all for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Docket. Again, but along with
More money and better
Stephan's minutes. Okay, funny. Okay, funny. Okay, first one. And I just show OG, we're gonna get to the end.
Told you the paper shuffle, man. I mean,
All right, we're at the sheriff's office.
just sit still.
But it's
Crying
so
out
loud, the paper shuffling.
Turn the air conditioner.
They're getting to the end.
Hold
They're
on.
getting to the end. And he's talking a lot.
Unredacted,
It's all this redacted stuff.
but I am exhausted
Yeah, we're all exhausted.
during trials. But thank you guys. Appreciate you all, mods. I love you guys. You guys are awesome.
Thank you, Docket. All right, so that sounds like it's where they ended it. Woo! We did it, you guys. We did it. All right. Yeah. Any comments on the next piece that you want to see on this? What do you want to see? Do you want to see the rest of the interview with Stephan's parents and everything they tell us about it? You want to see Angelica, the roommate? Tell me what you want to see. Let me know in these comments which ones, and we will shed some light on it. That little girl, Sherry says, did not deserve to die so horrifically. That little girl deserved to be protected. She deserved to be protected. Okay, we have one vote for the roommate, Angelica. Because imagine if you're the roommate and you find out this is going on, you're like, what the? That'd be an interesting conversation. Okay, so now another vote for the parents, for sure. Because, we get this insight about how he became the way he did. Like, there's one guy who's been covering the parents' interviews, and it's Gavin Fish. I like him a lot. Check him out. And he calls it the making of a monster. Now, that may be a little unfair. Because it's not necessarily just the parents that are responsible for, whether or not he becomes that way. Okay. So, but I do see a lot of strong behaviors that seem, well, you'll see. Okay, so the last of the parents, we'll do that then. We'll do that this week. If not tomorrow, then Wednesday. We will finish the parent. This is the last of this interview with Jen. So the next one we'll do the last of the parents before we resume OJ. And I'm sure between now and then something fun is going to drop on another case. Like we're going to get some Boone hearing, and we're going to have to watch it. Okay, we're going to have to watch it because I'm going to keep following her. And she's got trial in October. We've got trial for Boone in October. We've got trial for this dude, Stephan Sterns, in October. And we've got trial for who else? Who else is going in October? There's another one. Stephan Sterns. I know there's another one. So there's going to be a lot of a lot of catch up to do on these cases as they come to a close. And I'm going to do my best to be somebody who's got as deep down the rabbit hole as I can, so I know what I'm talking about when I reference this case. And I can do it, with familiarity, because it really does drive me crazy when journalists that I respect are commenting and doing all these reactions, and they haven't been down that rabbit hole yet, and their comments reflect that. So I hope you guys can tell that is my goal, is for my comments to reflect that I've been down the rabbit hole. So I'm not saying I'm always right, but they are saltily inspired. All right, super fun with you guys. Any last comments? Throw them up there. Last of the parents. And Sherry says yes, and find out if Angelica suspected anything. Why she didn't speak up. Sherry, Angelica did not suspect anything. She said he seemed like he loved her like a dad. He was so nice. She couldn't believe it. She was in total and utter shock. She just couldn't believe it. She never suspected a thing. That's what Angelica said. Would you believe that? But yet when they told her that they had showed her the pictures that he took of her and the video that he took of her, oh, she believed that. That freaked her out. You know. All right, guys, so fun. Thank you for being with me tonight. I'm so grateful for the company, the great conversation, the time together and exploring this idea of what happened, turning on the light. So it's late. I'm gonna put these birds to bed. I'm gonna turn off the light. So I'll see you tomorrow or Wednesday for the parents. I will see you Friday for OJ. Don't miss that one. You don't want to miss that one. This was so flippin' fun. Just spending time with you. So peace, stay salty, stay safe.